welcome to TJD episode 79. We watched The Woman in Black.
I'm Ty.
Jake.
And I'm Drew.
Yes, the 2012 horror film. We'd call it a horror, not thriller.
I'd call it a horror film.
Yeah. Starring Daniel Radcliffe with really probably, I think this was his first big role after the Harry Potter series, if I remember right. But, and no one else really of matter. So Daniel Radcliffe plays a widower, and he is tasked with going to a abandoned house to figure out some probate. He's a lawyer, and he's going to figure out some probate, but there are some interesting happenings at this house, and this small village is really trying to get him not to go out to it, because there are these stories about this woman in black that if you see her, a child will die. And it follows through with looking at the woman in black, Daniel Radcliffe trying to figure out what's going on in the house, going on with the villagers, and so on.
Didn't you miss the coughs?
No, I did
such
not.
a great
No
part
one
of the
ever
pod.
missed the coughs.
It's one of the main reasons I can't listen to our...
It makes Stir of Echoes pretty much unlistenable.
Yeah.
Except it was great.
Stir of Echoes?
If you hang with it, that one gets pretty fun.
Speaking of hanging...
Segways.
Off the chain.
Off the chain.
Well, on the chain.
I don't know that I'd... Well, actually, if you're hanging yourself, what you hang yourself with isn't really of consequence,
No,
right?
not really. As long as you
Well,
get the job done.
yeah,
I mean,
whatever.
David Carradine used the belt.
Yeah, and he had fun with it, too.
Yeah. Jeez.
I mean, if... Oh, God.
If we're going to start, let's start strong.
Isn't that how you'd want to go out, though?
No. I honestly can say I'm not one to go out that way.
You want to go out with it out?
You know, when I heard about that, my first thought was, I really hope he finished.
Oh my god.
That'd just be a nice final thing, like, yeah.
Well, you put that on his tombstone or something? Well, at least he finished.
No, just, it'd be sad to think that, you know, his last act, he couldn't accomplish, you know? He couldn't finish
So would he
the
become a
job.
ghost because he had unfinished business?
Oh my god. I mean, you could finish that up pretty quick then.
He haunts that closet?
Yeah. How would you feel if a ghost was masturbating in the corner of your room?
Is that what they moan all the time?
That's a good question.
That's
Did I just blow your mind?
That's an awful movie that no one's made, I don't think.
The Masturbating Ghost.
I
The
thought
award for Best Picture goes to...
I was gonna say that's a porn. Like they did The Grudge, and it was a male in the corner jerking off, like the porn version of The Grudge.
It was?
No,
Oh.
I'm saying
I was going to say, you watched this?
no.
What led you down this path?
You know, curiosity every once in a while.
I know. I'm saying that has been made. That has been made. Someone somewhere made that.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. But that's only very slightly anything to do with the woman in black.
It's kind of all this movie. What?
What?
Words. That's all this movie was about.
Oh, David Carradine?
This is what I imagine my wife would be like, actually. Like she's just murdering all the children in local villages.
Mm.
I'm like, yeah.
This does it for me.
Put a ring on it.
She was crazy in the sack, though.
When I threw her into the marsh. She was really upset that I put her in that sack.
Jeez.
No, she killed a lot of kids, though. She did me proud.
Did? They caught her?
Well, she's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you killed her.
Yeah, I'm still alive. Unfortunately.
So was it a Randy Marsh?
I was waiting for a Randy Marsh joke like the whole movie, and I couldn't think of a reason.
No, Drew had to be a fucking asshole and make every fucking Harry Potter joke he could.
I'm sorry.
He hit all the high notes of the Harry Potter stuff, though. Like what's the train station?
Platform 9 3/4.
He had one of those in there. He had some Ron joke in there.
You
Ron
had the
Weasley, not Ron
Weasley.
Jeremy.
Yeah, you had the Ron Weasley joke.
Yeah, it was nice.
All right,
we haven't even talked about this movie.
Yeah,
You're like, what wife? Dead kids? The fuck?
So, pros and cons. Spoilers. I mean, this movie is only 5 years old, so
It's only 5 years.
Yeah, 2007 or 12. Sorry.
Yeah,
felt like longer ago.
Nope, only 5 years. So, yeah. So spoilers at the top, because there are some good genuine scares in this. I think. I think there's some good tension in it.
Tension, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe one or two scares that might get you, but
not a ton of scares. Not as many scares as I thought there'd be. It is more of a slow burn type of story. It's one of those horror movies that tells you a story too.
Mm-hmm. I would say it's like sinister, but none of those like big shocking like oh shit. Like it just keeps that tension going. I think Sinister does it better, but
oh, you like Sinister better?
If I just wanted to watch a horror movie but be like able to sleep at night, I would watch this. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to actually get shit like scared out of me,
I'd want the scares. You go for Sinister.
Yep. So they're kind of on different levels. I think they're both good though. So
I think each one does things better.
But yeah, so you've been warned. So now going into pros and cons.
Light con. It's not going to be for everyone. Not the movie. The con that I'm about to talk about. It won't apply to everybody. Slow.
And it's only an hour and a half.
It feels like longer. Not that it's not boring per se, because I do mean there's genuine tension through most of the movie. But I think it's, if I were to try to figure out what makes it feel slow, I think it's the leaving the house and going back and coming and going. Mm-hmm. And I get that you have to do it because he's solving a mystery basically. Yeah. And there's all the creepy shit going on, but at its core, he's trying to figure out what the fuck happened. And in order to do that, he kind of has to be taken out of the scariest element.
Mm-hmm. I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to give people a reprieve.
Which is fair.
Like from it just being like creepy and just scary like the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the drawback to that, though, is it makes the tone kind of feel jumpy sometimes.
I would agree with that.
Where whenever he's back at the village, you're not really concerned because you know that nothing's really going to happen.
But shit does eventually happen.
At the very end.
Yeah.
But through most of the movie, I never once thought, oh shit, she's going to pop up here, something crazy's going to happen, or... Well, actually, that's not true, because something did happen with the basement and the fire stuff.
And the girl in the constable's office.
Right. But for the most part, and even those things weren't really scary. It was just like, oh, that's fucked up. Mm-mm. But, I don't know how to word it. And it's not really a con. It's just for me personally, I thought most of the movie would be him in the house. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of not a ton of that. Or at least as much as I thought it would be.
I think he divides it up pretty evenly between the house and the village. So I get what you're saying is because there's a lot of back and forth between each one. Mm-hmm. And so that I can understand it because you're like, okay, we're going to do all this, but then we're going to leave. Mm-hmm. And then some stuff happens here, but then we go back. And then this is happening here. But it is only an hour and a half. So it may feel a little slow, but actually it doesn't isn't like a 2 hour and 15 minute film.
It's not a Crimson Peak.
I was just going to say, what I was going to say is I think I would have liked it better if he was just in the house. Once he showed up, find a way for him to unfurl the mystery in the house. Mm-hmm. And it would make it more creepy, I think.
It would immerse you more.
Because he's not leaving that element. It's always in the background. Oh shit, anything could happen at any time. But, when it shows the big fucking helicopter shot and them driving down the road, you're like, fuck, we're going back to the town? All right. But I was going to say Crimson Peak's a good example of a movie that is basically all in that house once they get to it.
Once they get to it.
And it's still pretty lame when they're in the house. Me personally, I wasn't a huge fan of Crimson Peak. And it's Del Toro, and it hurts me to say that, but it was boring as fuck.
Like majority of that movie was all lead up, and
right.
It had pacing issues.
The end, solid.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, you're just like, I'd rather take a nap.
Like,
and that film is over 2 hours. So.
Yeah. Sorry, Tom Hiddleston.
He tried.
No, he did. I think he did.
It's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault.
It's a script problem, I think.
Yeah.
You can't. They all can't be an orphanage or.
That's a fucking good movie.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
Whatever. Labyrinth, the movie with David Bowie.
Yeah. Not a pro or a con, but a question. What do you think of Radcliffe?
Because like I said, I think this was his first or his second film right after. I'm going to just check that since I have it up right here. After the whole Harry Potter series. And I just thought it was good to see him step out of that. I really did. And I think he does fine. I mean, he pretty much has to carry this film. Because there's nobody else in it. Let me look. He had Harry Potter Part 1, Part 2. Yep, it was his first release after Harry Potter Part 2. And I think he took a step. He was like, screw it. I'm going to step away from this. You know, those later Harrys got a little bit more mature, but he's like, I'm going to do something completely out of the ordinary for me.
And I'll give him props for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I told you when we were watching it, I'm like, this is kind of a weird pick for Daniel Radcliffe. Like, it doesn't really seem like something that he would sign on for. But I don't think he's spectacular. I think he's fine.
He's serviceable, I think, out of everyone else. I mean, you don't really get to see a lot of people and a lot of dialogue, but...
And that's the other... He doesn't really get a lot to do. And the stuff that he did get to do, I thought he was just okay at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a part where he's reacting to something that's happening, and I just remember the face that he made wasn't really what I thought it
should be.
Yeah, it seemed very odd. And it could also be that I've never seen Daniel Radcliffe try to make that face before, but it just made you go, what the fuck?
What scene was this?
Something in the house. It was maybe when he opened the front door and was looking around or something. But he had, like, the same, like...
Expressionless.
Yeah, I was going to say expressionless.
That is the one bad thing.
It's not expressionless. He has a very, like, I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, like, his regular face is a certain look.
He's always frowning. And some of that is, I think he would try and portray his character as heartbroken.
Right. But because, Harry was, I hate to say it, but Harry Potter wasn't really that.
Mm-mm.
You're not used to seeing his natural face, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, most of the early movies, he's always smiling and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, he's a littler kid. And yeah, the movies got darker, but even then, he was, like, usually gritting his teeth. I don't know how to explain it.
I've got a good example of him just kind of being stoic. That part at the end, spoilers, where his kid starts running towards the tracks and he's having a conversation with Sam and the nanny's looking away, and then all of a sudden you get Radcliffe see him actually like wander out onto the tracks, and he just like, I just didn't buy his reaction to like, oh shit, like I gotta get my kid, holy shit, I gotta get out there. He just kind of looked at him, he's like, oh, that's happening.
Yeah, if I remember right, it looked almost more like he was pissed off.
Yeah, you'd think like you'd be like more like alarmed and concerned.
Granted, if it was me, I would have been pissed off, but
some of it is too, I think maybe some of it was shock as well, because he does see the woman in black. Like, he sees his kid, sees the woman in black, and so he's like...
I didn't even see shock, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think he's passable. He's fine. I've seen a lot of fucking horror movies, and there's way worse people out there.
Yeah.
I think it, and like I said, it could just be I'm not used to seeing Radcliffe do these things, but I wouldn't say he's anything better than, average. That's just me, though.
I'd say give him time to, actually, get some roles under his belt other than Harry,
Right.
Diversify.
Swiss Army Man's only a couple years later, and he was great at it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I said, it was just something he probably would just, hey, I'm going to step away from Harry, try something completely different.
Right.
And
which I give him props for.
Yeah.
Right. And it's probably a lot easier to get into a role if you're the same role for so long. Like, most of his life, he was the same character.
I'm trying to think when Harry Potter 1 came out.
I think it was
2001?
Yeah.
I think it was 01.
I was real young when it came out.
So, yeah, he's been doing it for,
10 years?
More than that.
Well, the last one came out in 11.
Okay.
So if you're just...
10 years.
Still, that's a shit ton of time in the acting world.
I mean, I think Hugh Jackman did it a little bit longer, but he didn't have a movie pretty much coming out every year. He wasn't filming a Wolverine movie every year.
Yeah, there were some gaps.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah. I'm just going to nip it in the butt right now, because you and I discussed this, and I think I kind of know how Drew feels. The ending can kind of be a pro or a con for anyone as well.
Right.
And if you've seen the film or if you haven't, what happens is, because the whole rule is if you see the woman in black, she stays in the marsh road or in the family cemetery that's on the island or in the house. If you see her, if somebody sees her, just a glance, doesn't matter how long, a child will die. Like, usually it's within the village, around the village. Lots of children have died there. It's her payback for her sister, who had her declared mentally insane, letting her own daughter or her own son that she had to give up to her sister die. And so Radcliffe had seen the woman in black and no child had died. So her payback, because she also whispers throughout the halls of the house, I will not forget, she is killing his son. And so he runs out to the tracks and dives in front of the train, where then Sam, the old man who's been helping Radcliffe, sees all the ghosts of the little kids on the other side of the track, and then sees the woman in black, and then nothing. And Daniel Radcliffe appears in what appears to be limbo, after Sam and the nanny look down into the railroad tracks. You don't see what they see, but you see Radcliffe and his son on the railroad tracks, and then everything's grayscale though, and then they see his wife, and they walk off into eternity with the woman in black standing on the platform yet. Some people, like, the reason, the original ending was Radcliffe just gets hit by the train with his son, end of movie. Sam sees what he sees, he looks down, cuts to black.
I think I would have liked it better.
Test audiences disagreed. They wanted, not necessarily, they wanted closure. So...
Test audiences like a happy ending.
Yes.
Even in a horror movie, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. And sometimes test audiences will literally ruin a great ending.
But me personally, I don't have a huge issue with it.
I mean, when you broke it down and explained, oh, it's kind of a nice gesture on the woman in black's part because she's letting their souls go. Or
because she's held on to all the other souls.
Or reuniting his family.
Right. It makes it okay, I guess. I still don't really like it, but that little extra layer makes it not as terrible as I thought it was. Because in a horror movie, I don't want the antagonist to make it okay for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like they've been the evil person, what all of a sudden allows them to be good.
Right. Like, at the end of Halloween, I don't want Michael Myers to be like, sorry for fucking with you. Because you'd be like, what the fuck is
Here,
this?
let me give you a hug, get you some coffee.
And that's my knee-jerk reaction. That's what I was like, what the hell? Like, why would you do that? But when you explain, like, okay, well, he did go get her kid and kind of give it a proper burial. So it was her way of saying, hey, I'm still going to do what I do, but I'm going to kind of do you a solid, which is a good gesture. But, you know, would an evil spirit do a good gesture? It's one of those things.
It can be convoluted, but at the same time, I could see her doing it because she's a woman who has lost her son, and it's a son who lost his mother, but now she's reuniting him. So she didn't make Daniel Radcliffe run into the train. That he did on his own.
Right.
So it was maybe an unintentional thing.
Well, I mean, she did still make his child run out there, though.
Yes.
That's the other thing I was going to bring up is if your sister let your kid die, why would your act of revenge be murdering other random kids if you've been through that and you know that it sucks? Well, I mean, of course it sucks. I guess I worded that a little weird, but...
Well, I said it during the movie. I said if she can't have a kid, then no one can have a kid.
Well, here's going to be my question, is when she was declared mentally insane, was it because the village didn't like her being around? Because then I would understand. And it would be an act of revenge against that village, or this area in particular, then I'm on board. Did they ever come out and say that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But you can imagine it.
I can't imagine it, and I probably will imagine that, just because it makes the movie cooler that way, I think, but...
Well, and there had to be something, like, I mean, maybe one of the villagers is one of them that knocked her up, and he left. So, and
Possible.
so and possibly because she was a little odd, and that was how they were able to get her to be declared mentally insane.
Right.
And so maybe the villager did, like, you know, kind of like, oh, that's the weird woman who lives in that house or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
The Eel Marsh house.
yeah, and so no one ever saw her. People just taunted her, maybe, etc. So,
and that's where I'm torn, though, is like, you know, it could just be her thing. It's her act of vengeance. There's no rationale behind it. She's just a crazy ghost. But then it makes that ending all that much more weird, because it's like, okay, I'm a crazy person and I do this horrible thing to people because it happened to me or whatever, but I'm going to go out of the way to help you. Like, you know what I mean?
and like I said, it could just be one gesture she did. Like, it's her one good deed. She's like, everybody gets one, and that's yours. Because you did do one thing for me, I'll give you one in return.
Right.
So,
not a con, just a conversation.
Yeah, it's a conversation. I personally am fine with the ending, because that's what I take into it, is that, yeah, she is an evil, vengeful spirit, but she recognizes what was done for her. So that's why she allowed him to go with his child.
Right.
So...
And I just feel that if you can recognize that, you could recognize, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't just take it out on a village of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you need a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, we always talk about that. Like, why did they do this? Why didn't you leave the house? Blah, blah, blah. You need a movie. And I realize it's being pedantic.
And they did make a sequel to this. They don't really... They make a small tie between the first one and the second one. It's not very good. And the second one's just awful. Like, the tie wasn't made very well. And then the movie is just awful. So...
The tie wasn't made very well.
Yep.
Yeah. I would
That's
agree.
what I always tell my parents.
Yeah? Or they tell you.
No, I tell them.
Oh.
I'm like, I wasn't made very well.
You like to see hobos naked?
Yeah.
Was it hobos or homos?
Homos.
Homos. Remember when you could say that? Actually, we just said that.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
you were quoting a movie.
That's
so.
true. Oh, that makes it all right.
Not always, but...
What if I said it to my boss today?
Well, depends how well you and
That'd
your...
be a strange
You know,
meeting.
I could have said that to Lacey, and she had been fine with it.
Yeah. I like to see homos naked.
Yeah.
And she'd go, we knew that about you.
Joe Dirt.
Oh, yeah, that was Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
Wow. Why am I quoting Joe Dirt?
Because it's a great movie.
It's a classic of our time.
I hear compared to the second, it's a great fucking
Oh,
movie.
It's
the
Oscar
Godfather.
worthy.
It's The Godfather.
It's
The
Oscar worthy.
Godfather. Good lord.
Mark McGrath is no Kid Rock.
I mean, in every
He has no-
sense of what you said, yes. Mark McGrath is not Kid Rock. He's better.
Wait, Kid Rock or Mark McGrath?
Mark McGrath is better than Kid Rock.
Mark McGrath is a better musician,
Oh,
Probably a
not a-
better human being.
but not a better antagonist.
He is not a better antagonist or actor.
I mean, it's not hard for Kid Rock to act like a moron, though.
That's true.
It wasn't really acting for him.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, David Spade just showed up with a weird wig on as I was just doing my daily stuff.
Yeah, I just rolled with it.
Yeah. Oh, a bunch of people with cameras. I didn't know what was going on. I was just living my life.
That brandy, though.
Mm.
Woo. Anyways,
Yeah.
masturbating ghosts.
Jeez.
I had a question. Kind of came to mind during this movie.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. So you're in Radcliffe's shoes, and you know, like, being a human, you have your urges.
Okay.
Yeah, you're with me. Well, you're not. Okay. Moving on. Urges. How long was he in this house? A week?
2 days.
2 days?
Wednesday,
There
Thursday.
goes my argument.
What he goes, what, you crank one out in the house? Is that what you're
That's
saying?
what I was going to ask. Do you jerk off in a haunted house?
Well, one, he didn't know it was haunted to begin with.
Yeah, but when you know.
Oh,
He apparently didn't have a fucking problem when he found out it was haunted. He's like, hey, there's a ghost in that window.
What would have been the point where you were like, I'm fucking out?
the face in the window? Wait, what happened before that?
He saw the woman out. Like, I think it was...
You saw her in the yard or something, right?
Yeah, he saw her in the yard.
Did he see... Was that before? I thought the window was the first time.
No, he saw her in the yard because it was when he was coming back from the cemetery that he saw them in the window.
Well, here's the thing that horror movies kind of don't get into detail with is when they do that, they do editing techniques. So if in real life I see a person, you don't usually second guess when you see a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're like, there's a person there, and you just know. Unless you're on fucking, you know, some sleeping pills or something, and it was a fun game where you're like, oh, let's see how long I could stay up. Then maybe you would hallucinate, or you did shrooms. Whatever.
One or the other.
Or both. But usually you're like, oh, there's a person there. Whereas in this, it's ambiguous, where, you know, your main characters always wonder, did I actually see that? But the moment I saw something would have been when I was out. Unless, didn't the first time you see her, though, she wasn't by the house? She was just out doing something?
She was in the cemetery. He was looking down out the window after the crow came in. And he's like, did I see somebody? Because, he looks down and he thinks he sees the woman in black. And he hears the crow caw, looks back, nothing's there, so he runs outside.
Wasn't the cemetery, right outside
Yes.
the house?
Yeah.
So that would have been it. I would have burned the fucking house down and been gone. Gone. That would have been it. I don't need multiple scenarios. I just need the one where I go, okay, I'm out. I'm not going to fuck with that.
See, had I made it through, okay, I think I saw something, but I'm not sure, it would have been the fucking rocking chair.
Oh, yeah.
I would have been long out before then.
Wait, you would have made it to the rocking chair?
I think I would have, yeah. Just because I knew how important the job was.
So you see her outside, and then you're outside.
I'm saying, I think I saw something. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I imagined it. Because at that time he's feeling isolated because the tide is in. He's all on his own. He's like, is my mind just playing tricks on me? What, am I just...
Listen, man, I've been isolated and alone. I don't imagine I see things or people Never.
No, but that rocking chair. Say, the rocking chair had been the first thing you had noticed. Or no, that fucking door opening. Like, because remember, he couldn't get in the door because the rocking chair was rocking the
And he
whole
goes
time.
to get a hatchet?
Yeah.
I'd have been out.
Yeah, that door is open now.
Plus, after he sees her out in the graveyard, he's out there and sees a face up in the fucking attic.
I'm saying, like, yeah, you kind of get past that. Like,
No, I don't get past a face in the fucking attic. No, sir. No. A face in the attic of your home.
Well,
Not as
I don't give a fuck if you're isolated or not. That's not a trick. If you see a face in the fucking window of your attic, I'm gone.
You're swimming home.
Holy shit, I'm gone. It's not even a fucking... I would immediately turn and walk down the fucking road. If the tide's in, I'm fucking swimming. It doesn't matter. I'm never going back. All the fucking kids in the village could die because I'm going to live. I'm just going to wander off into fucking Antarctica or whatever I have to do.
Yeah, Radcliffe had some nuts in this movie.
Or he was a fucking idiot. I thought he wanted to die.
Which is a possibility. That this guy is... He talks with the old guy, Sam, about spiritualism. And how Sam's like, I don't believe in any of that shit. He goes, once you die, you go up there, not down here. And Sam's like, I feel like I felt my wife around me, though. He goes, I didn't used to believe in it, but now I kind of do. And he does long for her because of that first shot, when he's packing his stuff to go, and you see in the mirror his wife over his shoulder, and he turns around, she's not there. So it's like, how much of it was he was really longing to be with her? And not just in the sense of like, yeah, she died, I miss her, but in a true, like, I want to die so I can be with her.
I don't think any job was worth the shit he went through in this movie.
No.
Name your price. Nope. The face in the attic
You're gone.
is when my job is over. And I would tell them that with a straight face. Hey man, the shit's haunted.
So that, I'd be like, you go check it out.
So
Right.
see, he saw the face in the attic and it steps away. What if you like saw the face and it's still like it stays there? Would you be like, okay, is it a cutout? Is it a mannequin?
A cutout. In 1889?
A mannequin.
A cutout in an attic, Ty. No. Fuck that. That's bullshit.
It was later than 1889.
Daniel Radcliffe's looking up there. He's like, yeah, what is that, a cutout? Or
It's not 3 men and a baby.
It's probably more like a little closer to World War I. So it's in the 19...
Oh, they had better cutout technology? That a random person in the middle of nowhere could put a cutout in their fucking attic? No.
marsh.
Fuck that. Although, if I had a house with an attic like that, I would fucking torture the shit out of my neighbors. Oh man, I would put a light right in that window and just put random shit there. Anything that I could find.
They
just
didn't have neighbors.
Just so somebody, and it wouldn't be a light.
You just say if he had.
Yeah, not a bright light. Just a
Damn.
dim light. Like maybe a little, remember Black Christmas? You had the little desktop light right next to the rocking chair.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Just enough where that kid's walking with his bike at night and he looks up there and goes, oh my god, I don't know what I'm looking at, but I know that I see it right now. And I never want to come back here. And no one would fuck with me ever again.
And then you get haunted.
Yeah, that'd be a bitch, wouldn't it? And no one can hear me scream.
Do you want to get haunted? Because that's how you get haunted.
One day you're outside getting the mail and you woke up and you're like, I didn't put that there.
Dude, that would be fucking terrifying. Oh my god. I just got goosebumps thinking about it. Like you have your rotation, like, oh, that's the Monday cutout.
Yeah.
And then like Sunday morning or something where you're like, I don't fuck with them on Sunday because whatever, church.
Sabbath.
It's the Lord's Day.
You keep holding the Sabbath.
Me.
Yeah.
No. But you just look up on a Sunday. Wait, why am I getting the mail on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, this doesn't make any sense. No, I just look up and it's there. I'm like, wow, I've never seen that one before. And then it moves. Dude, I'd burn my house down. I would burn a lot of fucking houses down.
My wife and kids, you just...
That's how you know when I'm haunted by something, is you're like, wow, every house Jake moves to just catches on fire somehow.
You don't even warn your wife and kids, you just, like, burn it.
Yeah, they're in the living room. Got a thing of gasoline on the porch. I'm sorry, I couldn't tell you.
There's no time.
Take my wedding ring off. Oh, that's terrible.
Jeez.
This is all from your autobiography.
Yeah.
What do you think of the deaths in this?
A lot of dead kids.
A little gruesome.
I was gonna say, like, you had Nathaniel, he
Drowns in a marsh.
drowns. Wait, which one's the son? Nathaniel, I thought was...
Oh, isn't it Nicholas?
Nicholas is
Sam's son.
Yeah, so Nathaniel dies in the marsh. Drowns in this muddy marsh.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Not a
That
good
would
way
be
to
an
go.
awful way to go.
Although I've heard drowning's not bad.
I've never
I
drowned.
guess your brain releases a lot of endorphins when you drown. Or maybe just when you die in general. I don't know.
Could not tell
You
you.
haven't died lately?
No, I haven't died lately.
Unlike that movie Flatliners that died at the box office.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you ever actually see the original Flatliners?
No, but I heard that this one is an abomination.
It's a remake and it's awful, I heard. Yeah, 0% I think I saw.
Ellen Page, too.
Yeah.
Which
And Kiefer
surprised me.
Sutherland reprises some sort of role. Because he was Kiefer Sutherland and Julia Roberts, I believe, in the original, and some others. But, yeah.
Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Woof.
But then one girl drinks lye, and it kills her. One self-immolates herself.
Yeah, that was...
And then... What else? 3 girls jump out of a window.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hit by a train.
So we're looking at what, 7 for
Yeah.
a body count?
And
Including
those are,
Radcliffe?
yeah, and those are not the one. That's not even all of them that we.
Yeah, not
8.
counting all the
Yeah.
village kids.
Well, because Nathaniel, 2 kids drown, 3 girls jump out a window, 1 gets burned, 1 drinks lye. They also said that oldest, because the girl who immolates herself had an older sister who also died. So they mentioned that. Then Radcliffe and his son, 11 so far.
That's
Yeah.
just of what you know of.
That's what you know of.
Pretty tame, though, I'd say. Like, parts of it, like the girl that drank lye, that was pretty gruesome.
Mm-hmm. She just started coughing up blood.
Right. But it was quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't, it's not a torture porn movie or anything.
No.
Show like flesh.
Plus, it's kids. I don't think you could do a torture porn kid movie.
You couldn't do Hostel with kids.
No, that would not go over well at all.
Dude.
Hostel for kids?
It's kids.
Coming
Kids
to
Hostel.
Nickelodeon? Nickelodeon would pick that up.
I was thinking
Disney XD.
I was thinking kids. I'm thinking Kids Bop. Kids Hostel. So it's spelled with a Z.
Mm. Who the fuck bought Kids Bop?
Why?
Who goes, you know what, I like all these popular songs now, but I really want to hear a bunch of children sing them for no reason.
And they also changed the lyrics because some of them are like very sexual innuendos.
Right?
Like Toxic was on Kids Bop. I'm like, really? Toxic?
There's some pedophile rocking out to that shit right now.
No, that's the guy who created Kids Bop in the first place.
Yeah, someone got rich off that.
Like, they also did This Love, and that was weird when I heard my mom sing This Love, by Maroon 5. Because there's a part where he's just talking about fingering a girl. And then
Wait, what?
This Love by Maroon 5?
Yeah. What's the part where he's talking about fingering a girl?
He literally says, stick my fingers deep inside you.
And your mom said this to you?
Well, she was just singing to the song.
Every Christmas.
But did she sing that part every Christmas?
Yes, didn't you used to sing Semi-Charmed Life and not know the lyrics?
It's a picture of him sitting on Santa's lap. He's got that deer in the headlights look.
Jeez.
Get ready for vague references to a creepy sodomizing Santa Claus. This jolly old Saint Nick wanted some fat dick. Allegedly, of course.
You ever had Santa check your prostate?
No, why? Did you?
Yeah.
How many quarts low were you? Wow.
Yeah!
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Inside jokes.
Oh my god. You can't just say that.
Actually, I shouldn't say that because now the listeners are like, wait, was Jake molested by someone? No, I wasn't. He was willing.
It was willing. Wow.
Christmas tradition.
Jeez.
That's what they were paying me for.
They paid you?
I like the face he makes when he tries to understand it.
When Jake hears White Christmas, he thinks of something different.
Yeah. Crying in a shower.
Man.
Have we taken it far enough past?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I'll just walk it out till Ty tells me to stop.
Now walk it out. Now walk it
I
out.
literally thought the same thing.
God damn it. I don't even know what that reference is.
It's a song.
What year?
Is that Chingy?
It's a hippie hop song.
Chingy.
Yeah.
Is it? Which is it, Chingy?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I'm looking it up.
He's in Scary Movie 4.
This is crucial information.
It is. The
Unk.
Who?
Unk. UNK. Unk.
Well, you can't spell drunk without UNK.
Yep.
Oh.
Never heard that before.
Really?
No, I've heard it.
Okay. That's like I've heard a lot of people say it.
So you would have made it to the rocking chair?
Yeah, then I would have gotten my shit out of there.
Here's my question about that. Radcliffe straight up walks into a rocking chair that's going absolutely apeshit.
And he acts like it's normal.
And he's looking at it like he's going to go, well, there's something wrong with this rocking chair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got a faulty rocking chair. When this fucking thing is... What do you investigate?
And then when you see the ghost hang itself, she, because that's why the rocking chair was, it's what she used to hang herself with. Like,
right.
And so that's why it was rocking, was because of that.
Didn't he see that, like, the first night?
Second night. I think Wednesday he didn't get as much work done there. It was Thursday. It was Wednesday evening into Thursday. Or I don't know. Because Wednesday night he stayed with, what's their name? And then he was there all day Thursday. Yeah, so Wednesday, I don't think he saw that Wednesday. I think he saw it Thursday.
I think he's just stupid.
I mean, it's possible.
He stayed there the whole time after everything happened. And then he dies.
I mean, yes, we wouldn't have a movie, but this movie really is like, come on, man.
But, I mean, it's just like sinister.
True. Although there was a point in Sinister where he was like, fuck it. We're leaving. We're getting in the car. We're leaving.
And he did. When he thought he had solved everything. When he thought he had lifted its curse.
But he never fled in terror.
No.
You at least had Ethan Hawke being like, I'm fucking out. Like, I'm not going to try to fix this. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I'm not saying every movie needs that. It's just like, this movie, though, the evidence was damning. Your shit's haunted, man. What the fuck are you going to do about it?
Even the one guy who doesn't, like, believe in these superstitious stuff, and you keep telling him, he just like, whatever. You obviously are seeing this shit. You believe it yourself. And even that woman you're talking to, Sam's wife, is like, yeah, this shit is going on. She's like, don't blame yourself. This shit is happening.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I that is one thing too where there's so much crap. It is hard to dispute why he didn't run.
Right.
Besides, he needed the job. He needed the money. So,
that's really the only big justification I can think of.
But you think a job like a lawyer, you can move to another town and be a lawyer. You know what I mean?
But if you don't, but in that time you needed references. So
you're saying you're a lawyer back then, you would have stuck this job out?
I feel Well, you also saw when he packed his bags, he had plenty of bills overdue. He was desperate.
Yeah, and that's why he was like so stingy about like, you know, trying to get a ride or whatever. And he's like, I'll give you a shilling if I can get to such and such place. And he goes, make it 6 and then we'll talk.
You have a life of poverty, or no life at all, possibly. Actually, no life at all, because he ended up dead.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd rather have a life of poverty. Property.
Well, everybody would like a life of property. Unless you are the property, then no. But
Well, now
Are you someone's property?
no,
that was the 1800s
it was.
in the movie.
I don't think so, but did it say?
Kid died in 1889.
Well, yeah, the boy did, but I mean, they went on to live for a while. Because, like...
If he's there wrapping up probate, then how long...
No, he's wrapping up probate on
for the mom.
the adoptive mother.
How long do you think the mom carried on living in an attic after her kid died?
The adopted mother, though, lived for a while. That's who he was there for.
Oh.
He was... Because the boy died... Then the mother hung herself. The actual mother hung herself. And she... what's the word? Haunted her sister for the rest of her life.
Forgot that haunted word, huh?
Yeah, forgot the word haunted. So yeah.
I don't know. If I died and turned into a ghost, I think I'd start haunting almost immediately. Be pretty quick. I mean, you're a ghost.
Let's get right into it.
I mean, what else are you doing? You're not working 40 a week.
Nah, you have nothing else to do.
You're not doing an 8 to 5.
Might as well keep yourself occupied.
Yeah, it was 1916.
Well, fuck this movie then. Nah, whatever.
1889 was when the boy died.
You're
though,
not
yes.
pulling a fucking carriage out of a marsh with your 1916 fucking
Rolls
car.
Royce, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What did that guy do? That he had a Rolls fucking Royce.
They don't say what his job was. Obviously, he was like a mayor
Wealthy?
or something. Yeah, he was some sort of. I don't know. He was. According to Wikipedia, it just says he finds sympathy in a wealthy local landowner. That's all they say.
Owning land, you'd probably be wealthy.
Well, in England, there's not much of it.
Car probably cost him $25.
Except they don't deal with dollars over there.
Shillings.
Pounds.
It was shillings.
Shillings is like their cents.
Oh, whatever.
It's a lot of sense. Daniel Radcliffe didn't have a lot of sense in this
No.
movie.
Segways.
But again, as you yelled at me before, when I was like, yeah, I just want to put myself in this situation, we needed a movie.
Right. Which is why I'm saying, not a pro or a con. Just this movie especially, you really have to suspend your disbelief.
Especially when, like, you see her, like, coming down. He didn't really interact with her at all. Like, the first time he finally, like, truly sees her is when she hangs herself. And he sees her whole face and body and everything. And then he walks out into the hallway and he sees her down at the end of the hall, and so then he runs into the room. But then
The kid comes out of the bed.
the kid comes out of the bed. Then the next time he fully sees her is when the girl immolates herself. Otherwise, usually he just sees like her face, or he'll just see like a piece of her clothing or something. Or she just like stalks him. Like she'll come up behind him, but he doesn't see her. The dog does. He doesn't. So, yeah.
I'd be so out.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we're just repeating the same shit, but I just want to establish that I would be gone.
You would be out. Do we want to do scenes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. My scene, because it literally was probably the first scare that got me when I originally saw this film, was when he is introduced to the rocking chair. And he goes down. He can't get in this damn room. The kid's old room has been locked up, and he keeps hearing this damn rocking chair, and he keeps trying to open the door. He can't open it. He runs downstairs to get a hatchet, and all of a sudden the door's open. And he just slowly walks down the hallway, and the chair's still going ape shit wild. And then you see the woman in black. It goes back, no one. Goes back, there she is. Goes back, no one. And just the whole scene in there is just really messed up. And I love the shot in there too when he's holding the candle, and it goes over the porcelain eyes and makes it look like the eyes are following him. Another reason I hate porcelain dolls. It's just like they're creepy. And then he tears away some of the wallpaper, and it's like you could have saved him. It's written in, well, what appears to be blood. I think is what they were trying to go for. But yeah, it kind of just sets a creepiness tone. And like Jake said, or like I said, that would be one of the first moments where I'm like, get the fuck out. But he's just kind of like, the one bad thing is Daniel Radcliffe is like, yeah, something's wrong with the chair. Not like, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
So that's like the only downfall I think to that scene is there's not more panic from him. So
I really dug the scene. I can't remember why Radcliffe was looking out a window. I don't even remember the reasoning behind it. But when he looks at the little grave, the cross that's out there, and it's raining, and the shot's pretty far back, like it's from within the house, like him looking out the window, you're seeing basically what he sees, and you're like, why are they hanging on this shot? And you see what looks like a kid just slowly crawling out of this mud, like this marshland, and it's creepy because the kid doesn't really do anything. I don't know why it's creepy to me, but you just see this figure get up, and you kind of have to put yourself in his shoes and be like, well, it's, pretty late. I don't know why I act as if the sun was out, it would be any better. But it's dark out, and you just happen to glance out a random window, and a fucking kid just crawled out of the earth. You'd be like, holy shit. And the fact that he doesn't do anything other than just stare you down is intimidating.
And then walks towards the house.
Oh yeah, he does walk towards the house. I just remember him, I think the shot, it could just be me remembering it wrong, but it felt like they hung on it for a long time before the kid started moving or anything. And it's just kind of a...
You see the hand there too, on the window.
Right, and that part I didn't really like that much.
It's a cheap jump scare, but it does have a narrative to it, why it's there at least.
But I like the part where the kid comes out and just, it's creepy.
I probably have to say the scene where Radcliffe and Sam come back to town and they see this giant fire coming out of the house. Radcliffe kind of sees that everybody's out of the house, and one of the mom there like starts screaming this girl's name. I think her name is like Lucy or something like that. So Radcliffe immediately takes it upon himself to like get in the house. Like he knows exactly where this girl stays. She's kept under lock and key in a basement, and he forces the door open and is in there, and there's fire everywhere, and he's like, stay right there, I'll come get you. And then all of a sudden he sees the woman in black to his right, and
the girl even looks at her.
Yeah, the girl looks at her too, and she's holding this lantern, and Radcliffe is screaming at her, no, and she drops this lantern right in front of herself and burns herself to death, and Radcliffe's like, well, I gotta get the fuck out of here now. And I don't know, it's just kind of I wasn't really expecting that up until I saw the woman in black, and you're like, oh, okay, some shit's gonna go down probably, and I don't know, it was kind of crazy.
Just some quick things on this film. Like I said, it's only 95 minutes, but its budget was $15 million, and it made 128.5.
Damn.
Holy shit.
It does have a sequel. The sequel's crap. Don't look up the sequel. Rotten Tomatoes has 66%. Then 62 on Metacritic. And then 54% user review though. And then on IMDb, it has a 6.4 on IMDb user.
What's your favorite kind of horror movie? Like, do you like a horror movie that has, like, a narrative? Like, we're trying to understand why this thing is haunting people?
I kind of like ones that it's like a mystery. They're trying to figure shit out. Not just like I mean, there's a place for a slasher film where it's like, Jason just wants to fucking kill people. Okay. There's a place for that. But
Right.
I always like people trying to figure out what's going on. So, that's why I kind of like those Insidious films, is because there's a reason behind them. They're a little drawn out, but, there's something going on for why everything is happening the way it's happening.
So you like a motivation.
Yeah.
I don't like a motivation. That's why I fucking love Halloween. Because Michael Myers is just a monster. There's no reasoning behind it. You know, he didn't have a rough childhood.
Unless you watch the Rob Zombie version.
Fuck that. That's the worst part of that movie. Other than that, I'm alright with the movie. But
Weird Al shows up in that.
You can't give Michael Myers a motivation. Because it takes everything that's so endearing away from... Well, endearing, maybe not the right word. Interesting. Because isn't that the scariest part of humanity, is when you're watching, you know, all those real, like, criminal documentary shows about Green River Killer and, you know, Ed Gein and Zodiac and all these crazy fucking people. The scariest part about it is some of them, there's no reason. Like, there's no reason. It's just a wire was crossed, or one day they just decided, I'm gonna do this. And it's like, how do you flip a coin mentally and land on that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the shit that scares me. Because there's a little truth in it, if that makes sense. And I don't know, people can have a motivation like that, and you can get angry, and revenge is a real thing. But I think it's scarier when there's not a reason. Like, nothing happened to you to lead you to be that way. Mm-hmm. It just happened.
Or, like, there's no like, reasoning.
Right.
Like, it is because it is.
Right. It is what it is. Michael Myers, he didn't have a bad childhood. He just did something horrible as a kid and continued to be a fucking psycho as an adult. And they don't try to get into, you know, the mentality behind it. That's what I like about Dr. Loomis. He's like, listen, I've been with this kid. He's just fucked. Like, he's evil. There's nothing redeemable about it. Just get the fuck away from him. You cannot save him. That is what I like about Halloween. And a lot of other movies don't have that. Even Jason has a reason. You know, he was at a camp. The counselors were fucking and doing drugs, and he died because of it. That's a reason. You know, Freddy Krueger, you were doing whatever with the kids. The village came and fucking set you on fire. You have a reason to go out and kill people in their dreams. Everybody's got a reason. I like the people that don't. That's just me.
Yeah. I mean, to each their own. Like there are places for slasher films where people just do what they fucking do because they want to.
And a mystery is great too. I love The Sixth Sense. Like, the first time I saw it, I know everybody's seen it by now and it's played out and everybody knows the twist. But when you saw it, you were like, holy fuck, I couldn't have even imagined that was what this was. Frailty's great.
Dude, I love when a horror movie or a thriller movie can tell an excellent story and blow your mind like that.
It's just, all I'm saying is, me personally, as an individual, it scares me more when I can't understand why.
Would you put 7 in that can't understand why?
Yeah, you don't really know anything about...
Drew mentions the killer from 7. It's been bleeped in case anyone hasn't seen it.
Like, he's just kind of a fucked person.
Spoilers.
I was going to say, that's why I didn't say his name.
Kind of spoilers.
It's from 97.
Yeah. Might bleep it. John Doe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that what they called him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fucked. There's not really a reason. I mean, he says, oh, we're doing, the sins, but you don't really know why.
No, he never says why. He just...
it's just what he does.
And that's really good.
It's disturbing.
It's fucked. But
Jigsaw had a reason.
Yep.
Almost everybody has a reason. Like, very rarely do you see a movie where you're like, there's not really...
By the way, I'm not looking forward to that new Jigsaw.
I don't know anything about it.
It comes out at the end of the month. I don't know what to expect, so...
You want to go?
Not really.
I'm going.
I think I'm kind of done with the torture porn.
Really?
Yeah.
You grown out of it?
I think so. Like, by the end of the 7th Saw, I was getting sick of that shit.
I think it's just played out. Like, it isn't...
Like, the first Saw, yeah, there was some gruesome shit, but, like, it wasn't over the top.
They focus mainly, like, more on narrative.
Yeah.
Rather than,
And then after that, it was all, like, I almost walked out of the third one when they started drilling into his fucking head. I was like, I'm like, I can't take this.
Didn't you watch all of them, though?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've seen one.
But it was more, I just wanted to see it through. So,
I mean, they got so cheap.
Yeah.
Like, not... Like, they weren't really... They were focused on the kills. It's the same thing that happened to, like, Final Destination, too, where they don't really care about the story anymore. It's like, how do we get...
That was definitely 3. Because I thought 2 was still okay.
I thought 2 was good.
I thought 2 was still okay. 3 was all about the kills.
Yep.
And 3, I think, was the last one I saw.
And then I know they had one more, and it was called The Final Destination.
I think you could still do it, but you'd have to put, like, effort into it.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't phone it in. Like, another Saw is not really... Because now there's a precedent, you know what I mean? Like, what the line is for Saw.
See, 3, 4, 5, 6, they were just... It was all about the fucking kills, and they, frankly, almost sickened me. And, like, the longer it went, the more, like, grossed out by it I got. And I was like, I just want some more narrative. Like, I think the reason I hung in was I was waiting for the magic of 1 to happen again.
You're waiting for the payoff.
Yeah. And until 7, it never came to be. And even with 7, I kind of had an idea of what was going to happen. It just was nice to see it unfold on screen the way I wanted it to.
Well, from what you told me, I would have been fucking irate.
I expected it, so...
How are you going to reboot it?
That I have no clue. Because, yeah, they even
That's
say
what-
he's been dead for 10 years.
That's why I'm so interested to see what happens. I'm at least going to go see it.
But, yeah. They acknowledge Jigsaw has been dead for 10 years. So it's like, well, no fucking way a guy planned this 10 years out. So.
And you already... Even the second movie, I was like, really? You anticipated all of these things would just happen? Nobody would flake out?
Mm-hmm.
I can't
well,
even set up...
he wanted people to flake out.
Oh, he did?
In the second one, it was... He literally told him, do what I tell you, everything works out.
Yep. And it was because he was so incessant that he ended up getting fucked. You can control Donnie Wahlberg. He's easy to control.
But, yeah, Jenna McCarthy's got him by the balls. All right, let's go into reviews.
Go for it.
I've seen this film a lot. I enjoy the tension it brings. I saw it in theaters, then I also saw it several times, and I own it now on DVD. And it just has a creepiness vibe to it. The first couple times I saw it, it's one of the things I saw it late at night, so it played with my mind a little bit. It also brings up that thing when, like, you always see a dog barking at nothing, and you're like, okay, what the fuck is actually there? What's
the worst thing ever?
Yeah. But I just thought it was nice. Like we said, I notice it a lot more now. Radcliffe doesn't do his best acting in this. It lacks, but I still think it's a nice, just creepy tension film, and it clocks in at 90 minutes. It doesn't take very long, so I disagree a little bit with Jake about the pacing. I understand there are some slow parts, but man, we didn't even get into the guy's wife and her little twin dogs. But
you mean the best part of the movie?
Yeah. But I like the general vibe that this film gives, and so I give it a 7.
Yeah, this is my first time seeing it. I remember when it came out and made a fuckload of money, but never really grabbed me as something I had to rush out and watch. But it's solid. Radcliffe's a little stiff, but, coming off 10 years of Harry Potter would probably make you a little bit rough around the edges. But he's perfectly passable, I think. There's not really a lot of other characters in the movie, but as, side characters to move the plot along, everybody's fine. There's a couple kid actors that aren't very good. That girl that was locked in that door had a really bad delivery. And I give it a pass because it's a kid, so, who really cares? But it's noticeable. Pretty dark subject matter when you're talking about a lady that's killing kids in a village. That's some heavy shit. So that's a pro.
AKA Jack's wife.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't want people to think that I'm outright shitting on the pacing. I think it could have been streamlined a little bit to make it feel less jumpy. Because, with a horror movie, you kind of like to settle into a mood. You let the creepiness kind of carry you along. And this movie kind of, every time it gets into that rhythm, it kind of throws it off a little bit for me personally. But you might not feel the same way. But, yeah, there's some decent scares here and there. A lot of jumpy type of stuff, but the atmosphere is good, I think, and that really helps it out quite a bit, I think. I'd probably give it a 6.
This is my first time seeing it. I really didn't know what to expect, especially with Daniel Radcliffe as the lead. You watch Harry Potter movies for 10 years and you don't know what an actor's capable of. I do enjoy the story. Quite a bit. I like the mystery. I like the hunt for motivation. The thing that this movie does well is, Ty mentioned it earlier, the tension. When Radcliffe's in the Eel Marsh house, tension is excellent. But you are taken out of it every so often. But it does do tension and atmosphere well when he's in the house. I do like this movie. I don't know what I can say that you guys haven't already said. I'd give it a 6.4.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You look sad.
No, I'm fine.
6 is good.
Yeah.
It's not. I'd probably recommend it to people, but it's not like. It's not a horror classic to me.
No, it's not classic.
But if it's around Halloween time and it came on, I totally watch it.
I enjoyed it. Like, I'm glad I watched it.
I don't know. I think watching it in a theater made me jump more. I don't know. Maybe I'm just more susceptible to jump scares.
Are you saying my sound system isn't good enough for you?
No, your sound system was great. I commented on that bass. But just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just more prone to jump scares.
Yeah,
there
was
were
fine.
Quite a few of them.
That's why we got different types of horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
The torture porn and slasher and, atmosphere. Like you said that you didn't really care for Babadook. I thought it was creepy as fuck.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
So different strokes for different folks.
All right.
And masturbating ghosts.
Yep.
So Jake, you're up next week.
It's going to have to be determined.
Okay. TBD?
Yeah, I didn't really word that.
I've never seen that. Is it good?
Like, I was like, I think he means TBD.
The movie's called Determined.
Oh.
It's terrifying. No, it's... I don't really know. I'm on the fence, because I have to do horror, which I forgot about. I had a pick lined up, and then I'm like, fuck, it's October.
I was the same way.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be hard for you, though. You love horror movies.
Well, it won't be. I will have to message you both and figure out, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Like, you told me you haven't seen The Exorcist. I'm half tempted to just go with The Exorcist. But I might look around, see if I find something.
I saw Exorcist the beginning.
That is not
the same thing.
No. I think you would really like The Exorcist.
No, I'm sure I would.
I think you would also be really freaked out by it unless you've seen some of the shit that's in it. Do you know what Captain Howdy is?
Yeah.
You do? You've seen the face?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Dude, it's creepy.
It's very creepy. Yeah.
Yeah. As I say, yeah, because I think you guys mentioned it to me once, and
You looked it up?
yeah.
And you were like, oh, that's unsettling.
Yeah.
You know, there's like 2 hours of footage of that guy and nobody knows where it is. That's fucking creepy. And that's real. Did you know that, like, their fucking set caught on fire and all this creepy shit?
There was a lot of weird shit that happened on that set.
Very, very weird shit.
One movie, Exorcism of Emily Rose, I thought was...
I never saw it.
I thought it was
that the girl in the barn?
Yeah.
I remember the promos for it being like, that looks kind of fucked up.
There's a lot of those fucking, like, exorcism of this person, exorcism of that, or exorcism beginning. That movie freaked me out the first time I saw it. Then I saw it, and I was like, later, and I was like, why did this movie freak me out? It's pretty crappy because it was supposed to be a prequel to The Exorcist. Mm-hmm. But like The Exorcism of Emily Rose, though, that was really good. So,
yeah. I just remember
that movie made me scared of 3 a.m.
Well, I remember her contorting her body in disturbing ways, and how unnatural it looked in that. And there's a part in the original Exorcist that does that as well, but it's an older movie, so it's not as shocking. But I think it holds up. When's the last time you saw it?
The Exorcism?
Yeah.
Or The Exorcism. The Exorcist. I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
I think it holds up.
Oh, God, like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
A lot of practical effects. Just a lot of weird shit.
That movie's amazing.
So yeah, maybe that. I think it'd be good for you.
We'll see.
Yeah.
No, I think it'd be good for me. I'm just saying we'll see because you haven't determined it yet.
Yeah, so I'll have to look through the Blu-ray rack and see if something jumps out at me. It's the only rack I have now.
As opposed to...
He lost his spice rack in the fire.
Wow.
Yes, the fire that only affected my spice rack.
Yep. All that cumin.
Yep.
And oregano. It's gone.
Terrible. What do I put on my eggs now?
Cayenne.
That would be pretty good.
If you like spice, yeah.
All right.
Anyways. Okay.
What an awful ending. Drew just made the suicide gesture for the listener. I feel the same way. That was awful.
You're all welcome. All right. I think that'll do it for this week. So like, share, subscribe. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Hopefully I caught up and uploaded these. If not, happy Thanksgiving.
Pilgrim.
Excellent.
So yeah, we're doing our best. So
No, we're not.
Oh, okay.
I'm fucking off lately.
Tell your friends, tell your wife or significant other. They
hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yeah.
And hide your husband.
Yep.
Because they're raping everybody up here.
Exactly.
All
Up here, up in here.
Oh, up in here.
Yeah.
I was going to make a DMX joke. Up in here, up in here.
Oh my god.
I forgot about that song.
Yeah, party up. You never forget
Wasn't that on Def Jam Vendetta?
Yep.
God, that was a good game.
I never had it.
It was fun.
God damn it, I wanted it.
It was fun. It was stupid, but fun.
They don't make games like that anymore.
Nope, they do not.
Why don't we just take a bunch of rappers and have them fight each other?
I mean, it's like Charles Barkley's Shut Up and Jam, which was pretty much an NBA Jam ripoff by Charles Barkley.
Who doesn't want that?
Exactly. It's like Shaq Fu.
Yeah.
Which they want to make a sequel to that.
That's not a good game.
Who's going to buy that?
You know there'd be people who would buy it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, you bought a racing wheel.
God damn it.
Oof.
Alright, I think that'll do it for this week. I'm Ty.
Jake.
And I'm Drew.
Don't buy a racing wheel.